Nedarim. So the last thing we learned about was that you cannot make a shvur on top of another shvur because you already have your obligation. However, it's still a good thing when it comes to mitzvahs. According to some, it's really a good thing. It's not really a shvur. According to others, it's actually a shvur as well, and you'll be able to yachel. And then we said as well, the next case was that if you said, I wouldn't wake up and I would learn this particular Masechta or this particular Mishnah, it says, Neder Godel Nodel Yisrael. That's a great Neder. And we said that, we had a machlekes Rishonim where that's actually a Neder where you can make Nedarim on mitzvahs, because usually Nedarim means that something becomes asa to you. And here you're saying you can do something positive, but the others say you can because it's like a carbon, there's a hegdish. Others say this is a yad to a shvur. And then we said that the chiddush here is that that it actually is a proper shvur. And why is that? Because since you don't have to learn all day, if you want, you can only learn krishma in the morning and at night, and you fulfill your mitzvah. So it's not a shvur on top of another shvur. This that you're learning more than that is voluntary. That's what it seems in Parsha Pshat Gemara. Big machlekes Rishonim if that's really the case. Because literally Gemara, the way Rashi learned the Gemara literally, and that is that you only have to learn in Perek Echad Shachar and Perek Echad Arvis, and you fulfill your mitzvah HaTorah. That's what Rashi seems to be saying. And the Rosh says only, and others say only if it's impossible. Sorry, the Ritva says only if it's impossible to learn because you're busy occupied in business all day. But if you have any spare time, of course you have a mitzvah to learn. When we say you're exempt from learning Torah by saying Krishma in the morning or night, is only you have no breda whatsoever. The Ran, however, comes along and says there's another mitzvah called Yomush V'Higisa by Yom V'Layla, which is what some of the Shani bring. The Ran brings the pasuk V'Shenantam Levanecha that Yehei V'Torah Chudadim B'Picha. You should be able to answer somebody straight away. So the Ran basically says there's two things. This is what I'm paraphrasing what he's saying. There's a mitzvah of limud Torah and there's a mitzvah of Yediyas Torah. There's one mitzvah you have to learn Torah, there's another mitzvah you have to accrue knowledge. As far as the mitzvah of learning Torah, you can be Yetzer, Perek Echad Shachar, Perek Echad Arvis. As far as the mitzvah of accruing knowledge, there's no easy way out. The only way to accrue knowledge is by sitting and learning every minute of the day. And that is a mitzvah, he says, Mahat Torah, to learn every mitzvah of the day, every minute of the day, in order to accrue knowledge. We should not levanecha. But because it's not mefudish in the Torah, he said, this fits in my shittah, according to my shittah, which is, you cannot make a shvur on top of a shvur, because Muzbeva Oimed Bahar Sinai is the only thing which are clearly written in the Torah. Something which is not clearly written in the Torah, which we darshan, like Vishinantul Venecha, that is not clear in the Torah. You can make a shvur on top of that. That's what he holds. So the Gemara continues. Somebody says to his friend, Nashkim, let us wake up. The Nishna Pedic Zeh, and let's learn this Pedic. All of Lahashkim, he should wake up. In other words, he has to not, of course, abide by his neder, but he has to be there first. Shenemar, it says in Pasuk that Hashem says Yecheskel, Vayemer Elai, Kum Tzei Elabika, why don't you go to this valley? And there I will speak with you. So he says here, I woke up. I went out to the valley, and Hashem was there already. But Hashem invited me, so he should be there. So what exactly is the limit over here? One is that he should be there first. But according to the Ritva, he brings from some of the Shainim, that the chiddush here is that I make a shvua, and the other person doesn't say anything, he's bound by the shvua as well. The chiddush is not only that I have to be the first, but the other guy has to come as well. And even though he didn't say anything. So from here, they want to learn out the big machlekes we spoke a little bit about yesterday. If you have a thought of making a neder, especially for a mitzvah, is that chal, or you have to verbalize it? Here, the other person said nothing. He just said, I said to you, let's wake up in the morning. And because you did not disagree, you're bound by it. So we see that machshav or kavanah b'leiv is enough to make a neder when it comes to mitzvah. Others disagree. They say that being quiet is not the same as kavanah b'leiv. Since what's pshat when somebody says something and you're quiet and you agree? Is the pshat that you just listen and you say okay, or it's like we understand your kavanah? Or the pshat is as if tantamount to you're saying the same words. How far do we take it? By a chuppah. The husband says, and she says nothing. She doesn't even say yes. Because we'll say that by her saying nothing, that is tantamount to her saying the same thing, that her saying that, yes, that I'm agreeing. It's not just kavanah. Okay, let's continue. Amar Rabbi Yehuda says, what happens if you had a dream that they put you in cheder? You need 10 people to be matter you. You need 10 people. Why do you need 10 people to be matter you? Because it could be that why did you have such a dream? We learned in Rashi and Baruch there's a malach that's in charge of dreams. Could be the Eibush sent this malach to put this in your head that you put in the chedim, and therefore you need the Eibush to undo it. And 10 people, the Eibush is there. And interesting, the Ran brings the lashon from the Zohar. He said a kol beis asarish chintashaya is a lashon from the Zohar. The Rosh brings a lashon which is not from the Zohar. He said his lashon is. He says the Rosh says here. Where is it? He says here that kol be'asari yesh china. The Rosh says kol be'asari yesh china. That's not a lashon of the Zohar. The Ran brings a lashon a kol be'asari chintashaya. Where is it? No, I'm sorry. The Taisus brings a lashon. That was kol be'asari chintashaya. Anyway. We'll talk about it. Just one other thing, a very interesting. I can tell you, the previous Gemara, he said, "I want to make a neder to this masechta." The others want to say, "Of course, you have a mechiv." There's a third opinion. You have a mitzvah chiv to learn every minute of the day, not just yediyas hatayda, but limud hatayda as well, because there's lo yomish tayda and picha v'yigisa, and it says in Yeshua actually, v'yigisa b'yom v'layla. However, you don't have a chiv to learn this masechta. I can learn another masechta. I can learn something else. So if I make a shvur that I'm going to learn this masechta, then it's chal. And Tosha brings a very interesting thing. It's the only place I've ever seen such a lashon. Tosha says, he asked himself, so how come a person makes that he won't give tzedakah? If a person says he won't give tzedakah to that the neder is not really chal. You have the neder is chal. You have a chiyuv to give tzedakah. So Tosha says that what he meant was, I won't give tzedakah to this poor person. And he says here, is there a chiyuv to give tzedakah to every poor person that comes your way? There's no chiyuv to give tzedakah to every poor person. There's a chiyuv to give tzedakah, you have to give a certain amount. But every poor person that comes to you, on Purim we say kol ha'poish yad. But we don't say that every poor person that comes to you, you have to give a chiyuv tzedakah. No chiyuv tzedakah. Chimush b'losin l'chol oni v'oni matana. Interesting lashon. And let's continue Gemara. So if you need 10 people, because that the shchin is there, so you can undo that nidui. Says the Gemara. Now, who are these 10 people? That's 10 people. You need the Tanu Hilchasa. We have 2 Gesayis now Gemara. One Ges will be with Tanu Hilchasa. He learned Gemara of a Masna. They only learned Mishnayis. The Loy Tanu, they didn't learn Gemara. They're not Chashav enough. If you learn Mishnayis, Al Gemara, you cannot be from those 10 people to be matter the nidui, because you need to be in a higher madrega. Others gives is that Vahu the Masna Hilchasa, only if he gives Shiurim. Aval Tanu, if he learns Gemara, doesn't give Shiurim, he doesn't qualify. Then he continues, the Tanu Hilchasa, if you can't find people who learn Gemara, Afilu Masnu v'loy Tanu. Then even if they just learn Mishnayis, you can also use them. If you have no bread, you can use them. If you don't have, Lezel v'leisav aprasha drachim, sit on the roads. V'yoyiv shalma lebei, you give shalom aleichem to 10 people. Adam mikul le'asara de gam Hilchasa, until on the fork of the road, you have 2 roads now. Because you have 2 roads, there are more people there. And also people, according to some are more friendly in the answer shalom. On the Stammer Road, you say shalom aleichem. If you go like New York City, you say Shabbos people, you're an Adam and Adam. So they're not very pleasant, or they don't respond. So, but over there, people will say hello, good morning, and they'll say shalom. And every time does that mean you have to wait till you get 10 people who learn the Gemara and together you have them, or the pshat is every single person that goes by and says shalom, that is part of the hetem, and you have ultimately 10 people, even though they're not together, that's good enough. And the first opinion says by each one saying shalom aleichem, that sort of delays any particular chaydim that has to be put on you, so you can find the 10 people and bring them together and be matter the nidui, the chaydim. Let's say in your cholam who's the one who put you in chaydim. Can you go to that person now that you woke up and ask to be matter neder? Amalei, no. The shmutish shavish lech. We're worried this is from the shchina. The malach is there. So maybe to put you in chedim, that person was appointed as shliach. He was never appointed to be a shliach to give the right to be matter the nidui. This is your question. What about you? You dreamt both. You dreamt you put in chedim, and then you dreamt that you were released from the chedim. That's not good enough. Because Kishem Shei Efshel the Barber like Tevin, it's impossible not to have wheat without some straw in it. Kach Efshel, it's impossible. The Cholam below Dvarim B'Telem. Every Cholam has some Dvarim B'Telem in it. And how do you know what the Dvarim B'Telem is? Maybe the Dvarim B'Telem is the part of the heter, and therefore you still need to find the heter. And we actually we're learning much about the idea of Cholam, if you can rely on it or not. Ravina, Havale need to this is also a controversial word. Many which before he's learning the following word. Ravina, Havale need to be the Ran has a whole question he doesn't answer. So if you had a neder, if you had a dream that you were put in chedim, do you have to behave like you're in chedim? Like you now talk to anybody, now do business with anybody, now have relations with your wife and all that. How does it work? Then he asked, what if you made a neder in your chol? If you made a neder in your chol, do you need a heter or only by nidui? Because by nidui we just said kamin hashemayim, there's some kind of a punishment for something you did. When it comes to a neder, there's no punishment, so maybe it's just a stamp, what in B'Telem. But the Rashbek Paskins clearly you do need. By the way, that's one of the reasons why we say over there by on Rosh Hashanah that you need 10 people now for in our shitta that by Torah's Nedarim and everything else we have 10 people. One of them is to be matter all these things from Nedarim and Yecholim. According to the Rashbek that says a Neder and Yecholim is the same as a Nidui. Could even be that you need 10 people, just like a Nidui Gemara says. So that's why we do 10 people, not just 3. Says the Gemara further. I think more brachas we had at the end that every time you have a bad dream, you should say. And why we say it every time? Why don't we just say if you had a bad dream, say it? So unless even if you don't remember the bad dream, you might have had a bad dream. Says the Gemara further. Asla Kamar Rashi. Fine. Rabina made a his wife, a neder that he couldn't break, either because it has nothing to do with him, or because he's Mekayim. Now, actually, if a husband is Mekayim, the neder of his wife will have later and during big machlekes if later he can be mata neder or not. But but over here in this Gemara, it could very well be just that there's a neder that was not between him and her, and therefore he had no say over it. Came before Rabashi. Amalei said, "Baal Masha, can a husband be a shliach to the chavrot of his wife?" Amalei said, "If there was a group of people, yes. Eloi, but if not, no. Now, what's going on here? So most of the Shayim learn everybody else definitely could be a shliach to be mataned, even though you cannot make a shliach, you cannot have a shliach to make a neder for you, but you can have a shliach to be mataned for you. Everyone else, the shayla is asking by a husband because a husband might amplify. It bothers him that his wife has a neder, so he might, she'll have a charota, but he will make it sound better. Or he'll add a little bit of his own, which is not really fair. That's how most of the Shayim learn. The Rashbam learns no. That only a husband has the right. No one else can be mataned. It's like, can I make a neder? Can I be mataned? But a husband, because each take a gufay, the question is if he can be the one to go on her behalf, and we answer only b'di'eved. There's a group already. You can. Now, according to the second way, why only b'di'eved? Because we're worried that he'll get a group of people because he has such a tircha to find 3 people together. So he just wants to get it over and done with it. He is going to change the story, or he'll give his own narrative to why she has charata. Says the Gemara, there's a shmamah level of 3 things. Shmamah the balnas shliach lechadisha. First of all, husband can be a shliach. Shmamah le shodi le mission. Why didn't he just get another 2 people? Or because Ravashi was the Rav, you're not allowed to make your own, set up your own business when the Rav is there. Shmamah knows we learn from here. If you gather people together, that's good. That if they are a group of people there already, then you can. But if, let's say, putting someone in Chedim, even in the region of your Rebbe, because you're stopping someone from doing an Aveda, then you're allowed to do it because, we learned in Brachas that if you test, that you got to do what you got to do. The Yachid Mumche Shari Shamta, and a Yachid Mumche also can release from a Chedim. Rab Shimon, the son of Zvi, the son of and before already. Wow. Mashmei Rabbi Yehuda, it's a lot of names to remember. Bariloi, who was a Tana, it says in Pasik, it will shine to you those who fear my name. And it says in Pasik there, Shemesh Dokum Marpa, the son of the charity, and is going to cure you. This is referring to people Who's going to get the benefit of the sun? Those people who are concerned with saying the Abel's name in vain. Shemesh tzedakah umarpet, that the sun will be of tzedakah will cure, will heal. Now, the little dust particles you see in the rays of the sun that are shining through a window, masi, that cures. The Shani want to know, what about the sun itself? Why after these particles in the ray? So you're saying that today it's talking about that the sun partially cures from many sicknesses, diseases, debilitating things. He says, that after there's no more Gehenim, the will take away the stratosphere that protects us from all the ultraviolet rays. Tzaddikim will be cured with that kind of sun. It will be therapeutic. With the Shayim, the Dainim Hashem will actually be punished for that. You know what it says? That it will shine. He's talking about Shadish Laki says talking about Osid Lava. Not like we learned before, that's talking about today. Like that, it'll make them feel, it'll make their skin look healthier. It says the pasuk in that same pasuk. That'll be like these calves over there that are wandering around the patch with plenty of feed and they look healthy. But the Harshayim themselves, they will burn up in it. It says, they'll burn up in the oven from the sun. But the carbon will take away, the footprint will take away all the protective things from the sun, and they're going to burn up. Anyway, let's just do the next Mishnah. If somebody says, we're talking about Yoda, it's a continuation of the previous Mishnah. If somebody says, I want to make a neder just like the Shayim. And then he concludes, what kind of neder? Not that he made a neder, but nazir. Either he says, I will be a nazir, or a carbon, he says, I'll bring a carbon, but he prefaced this comment, saying, I'm going to make a neder like a Shayim. Or b'shvua. From here to the Shayim, will bring a raya, there's a concept of a yad l'shvua. If you say it in the form of a neder, I will do something, which it cannot be a neder, because a neder has to be an iser on an object, but it's a shvua, but it's a yad to shvua. See right here in the Mishnah, you start with kinidrei to Shayim, and you're saying that either I'll become a nazir, either I'll bring a carbon, or I plan to make a shvua. So therefore, we say it's a valid shvur because the Shayim do make the darim, do make shvuas, and they're in the habit of making promises all the time. Because Shadim do not have the habit of making shvuas, because shvu especially has Hashem's name, and they don't go ahead and make shvuas. If he says, but like the Nedava of good people, then nadar ben nazir carbon. If he says like in a dover, then it's valid when it comes to a nazir. It's valid when it comes to a carbon, but not when it comes to a shua, because under no circumstance would Shay to make a shua.
He doesn't actually say the words of making a nether.
Yeah, he starts off kinid voisa, and then he concludes nazir or carbon. So this is a yad. And because Shadim will make an adava. Why shouldn't a adava be different than neder? That we'll see in tomorrow's Gemara. Says the Gemara first, Vidilma, says the Gemara, Vidilma, Hachikama, you're telling me it's a yad, and therefore it's a valid neder. If he says Kinidre Rishayim, he's bound by it. How do you know? Right now the Gemara doesn't know that you're concluding with the words Nazir, carbon, or shur. The Gemara thinks, all you said was Kinidre Rishayim. Said the Gemara, maybe he meant to say I'm not going to do Vidilma Hachikama Rishayim, Loina Dana. Remember, we learned there's two kinds of yadas. There's a yad which is compelling, a yad mechich, and the yad she'ein mechich. How do you know which way to understand the complete a sentence? It's an incomplete sentence that has no, that we can go either way. So maybe it's yadayim she'ein mechich. So how can you conclude? Says the Gemara, Amar Shmuel ba'omer, like Shmuel said in our first Mishnah, he says that the preface and the second part is one sentence. Same thing here. Kinida d'shayim, and then he continues, Hareini. He says either Hareini, which is the lashon you use when the text we use when you sing a nazir, or Olai, which is the lashon you use when you say you're going to bring a carbon, or Heimenu. That's the lashon that you bring when you make a shavua. I'm asking this bread. I don't want having to do with this bread. I'm distancing myself from this bread. Hareini is the word benazidis. Allah is the word used for carbon. And Heimenu b'shvu. So in other words, you're completing a sentence. Now, why is that called a yada mechiach? All you're saying, Kinid Shayim Harei. What does that mean? Hareini. What does that mean? Abmat. So the Gemara is talking about, there's more to the story. So the Gemara, Hareini benazidis, Gumarein b'tayin kamer. It's still a yadayim she'ein mechich. How do we know? Okay, I'm doing like a neder of the shayim. I'm going to be what? Maybe it means I'm going to be fasting. Like we're having more time this day, a person takes on himself fasting. Or Mashmul, there's more to the story. So it's not just the words, we also look at the surrounding. Another was walking by, and suddenly you say, it's obvious what what triggered your statement. Obviously, the Nazar walking by. So what you were saying was, I want to be like a Nazar. Or Heimenu b'shvua, when he says Heimenu b'shvua, Olai b'karma, because that's what Olai always means. I take it upon myself. Heimenu b'shvua, Dilma Heimenu dachil Heimenu means I will eat it. I don't know, means I won't eat it. Marava the Amar Heimenu he clearly said, I needed to show him a Heimenu from this bread. Shaloi Eichel Avoni. The Gemara says, no, so it's not a Yadayim, it's like Mamish. Remember, what's a Chiddush? It's pretty clear what you're saying. Nay. Mao, the time I would have said, I would have thought, he didn't use the word shvur, and not only use shvur, he did use the word neder. And since a neder in a positive, in a proactive way doesn't work, so maybe nothing happened. Kamashlan Hadin, I'm teaching, no, this din is correct. This follows that this is the right way, and this is considered a neder or shvur. Stop here, we'll continue tomorrow, Mitzvah.